I think this is called HyperCard, and I generally have issues with it, so we'll see if I can record it. This is a playing card that had basically black and white on this side and red and white on this side. So I've tried reproducing this with other cards, but when I fold as many times as you need to do the trick, they seem to just split. So there was something about the quality of this card. It just came with a bicycle deck, so I don't know what it is. And the other ones I've been trying that are just failing. But so basically what we have is the preparation in case it messes up. We have a fold about a third of the way from the top, and then a fold about a third of the way from the bottom. They don't actually touch. They're off ever so slightly. I'm not sure that matters. I found this in my pack of stuff that I had done a long time ago. And then the edges are folded in a bit, but as I later found out, and I'll show in another experiment, they can't overlap in the center. So these are barely touching, which is okay. It's even better if they're slightly not touching. But so after you've done the folds, then you can cut. So there's this flap. And I think I did see a video on someone who gave credit to the inventor. So if I can go find that, I will as well. But you cut 3 of the sides then, so it's a flap. So the idea is to have someone hold the flap. And without letting go, you'll invert the card. So right now, it's the red side showing. So what it's going to look like after you've inverted it without letting go is you're going to be holding the flap still, and you're going to see the black side. So like I said, sometimes I can do this and sometimes not. So it doesn't matter obviously which side you start at, but I'll start with the red just because I want to. So the way I think you need to do it is hold it with the flap toward you, so not around this way. Hold it with the flap this way. Turn the top part down and away from you, and then fold the 2 sides in away from you, so they're folded to the back. And then you fold this bottom piece up. And so that's what you have. And then, still holding on, somehow, so it was red and now we want it to be black. You just do the opposite, which is not that. So I think the opposite is like this. And you're holding on, and it's now the black side. So sometimes that looks more impressive. So based on this idea, where you're basically having someone hold this and then the card inverts itself while they're still holding, a woman magician, I forget her name, Terri something, I will give her credit once I remember what it is, made a jumbo card trick based on the same principle, where she had 2 jumbo cards, and they were, you could see they were face to face, or like face to face right now, as if these were the faces, and then you could see the backs on both sides. So I've recreated this in Cardstock after some experiments, and this works pretty well. So I think I can do this. So we start out, and we've got 2 pieces of cardstock. They're white on both sides, and they have a pattern on their other sides, and they're different patterns. They're both Christmas, but they're different, stockings and presents. And they're taped together ever so slightly because you don't want them to come apart. So basically, it seems impossible where they're taped together and their decorated sides are facing each other, that you could do anything to make them opposite of that, short of removing the tape. But if you fold this one in from the top and fold the sides over and the sides over, and then fold the bottom up. And we turn this over and undo it. So fold down, fold the sides, and fold that. We have now gone from white on both sides to the pattern on both sides, and I just think that is really pretty cool. So I did some experiments because I like the dimensions of this pretty much. And again, she did it with jumbo cards, so that worked. I tried it with small cards, and I think I just did tearing because I was too lazy to cut with scissors. And I didn't tape real well or cut out the centers very well. But the idea is the same. So we've got a queen of diamonds and a queen of spades that are back to back. And they're together only by some glue. And if we want them to be face to face, we can fold this one in, fold it over, fold the side over, fold the bottom up, turn it over, and undo. And my opening is not quite big enough. I don't think. I didn't cut them at the same time, so it was kind of just a proof of concept. But it works. So we had them back to back, now we have them face to face. So if that were made more carefully with cutting instead of tearing, it might actually work. There is, the folding that might tend to make the cards break down, which is why I did cardstock. And I also thought, okay, so this is about a good dimension like that, because the hole's big enough that it almost seems like, well, you can't put the card through the hole. I mean, that's ridiculous. I think on these dimensions, it works even nicer maybe because it looks like the hole is smaller relatively compared to that. And what are the dimensions of this? Let's see what we have here. So we have, I think it's about, okay, 1.5 inches on the top and the bottom. And the sides are about, what are they? About 3/4. So that worked really well. What I discovered, and so this is the experiment that worked the best. So I said it's optimal. So what we have here is we have a blue index card on this side and a pink one on this side. Not that you can really see, but the rules, where are the rules? The rules are against each other, and the non-ruled sides are facing out. Here I have the top and bottom at 1.5, and they can overlap, I found out. So unlike with the card, well, I can't remember, ones I've tried, they can overlap, that's okay. But the sides cannot overlap when they're folded in. So these sides were 3/8 of an inch. And like if I want to go from where the writing is and the back sides basically to, you're only bending one of the cards. The bottom card stays static. Again, I'm reaching around the phone, but so here we don't have any of the writing showing, and the ruled sides are out. But so I think those dimensions show that was 1.5 inches and 3/8 inch. Because I tried, I think the first one I tried was this, where I had 1.25 inches down. Here the tops don't overlap, they just meet, and that's okay. And the sides are really narrow. And so when they come in, they don't even come close to meeting. If I could fiddle with this and get it to fold. So as you can see, this works really well too, but this is a giant hole, and so I think it's less impressive than a smaller hole. So I set out to do a smaller hole, and I just started with just some arbitrary sizes because I really don't quite understand how it works, and my spatial relations. So I had it 1.25 inches down, and I had 1 inch in. So the top and bottom don't overlap. They just almost meet, which is fine. Unfortunately, the sides do overlap, and almost exactly, which maybe is the problem. But so if I do the moves of the top down, side in, bottom up, and then turn it over, this piece can't come up because it's trapped with some of the sides that overlap. So I even then scored this again and thought, well, what if we did fold it in half and then in half like that, and then this piece in half and then half again. You want to do the top first, and then I think I actually did that and that, going back that way, and then folding this one over, down this way and back, and then the bottom up and over. And you still have a problem. They're trapped there. So I can't quite explain it, but what I gleaned from all of this then is the tops and bottoms can overlap. The sides cannot. And then here's one that almost works. So we had a 1.25 for the top and the bottom. They touched, which is fine. And then the sides were 3/4, but the 3/4 made them overlap ever so slightly, and it still caused the problem. It almost worked. You could kind of squeeze it through. And maybe that's just my cutting, because it's not perfectly square. So maybe that one would work, but I think the ultimate one that I chose is the better option.